I was bleeding. Yes. Yeah. So I stand in the shower and I felt really, really, really filthy. And I had not the feeling I could wash this away.
Welcome back to Offbeat. I'm Tommy McDonald. Today, we're going to be diving into more shocking stories by abusive porn producers. In this episode, I have a powerful interview with Dutch sex worker Chiela Rosa. She shares a heartbreaking experience of growing up in care homes with no family contact. And she explains how that Dutch care system left her with no other real choice other than to do sex work. She also opens up about her career and explains how she was subjected to violent sexual abuse by a female porn producer. This is honestly one of the most emotional, but also one of the most inspiring interviews I've done so far. But before we get into the interview, we have to discuss the background of the porn producers that Chiela's accusing of abuse. And we have to give their responses to the allegations. If you're eager to jump straight into the interview, feel free to just skip ahead. And please remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Your support means that more people see this and more girls get warned about violent porn producers like this. Now let's talk about the porn producers Chiela mentions. In the interview, she makes serious allegations of abuse at a Dutch porn site called Kim Holland. The site is actually based in Belgium, and it's owned by former Dutch porn star Kim Holland and her ex-partner Rudolf Slackhorst. After their breakup in 2015, Kim Holland took a back seat, and Rudolf now runs it and runs the productions with his new partner, Elise van Vlaanderen. Elise has a really controversial background, including connections to former porn producer Dennis Blackmagic, who's more famous as a child rapist and serial rapist in general. He was put in prison again this year for raping 7 more women. In 2017, Elise was named as Dennis Blackmagic's successor, as he was calling himself the king of porn, and she's calling herself the queen of porn. This is mostly like more PR bollocks than anything else, because it appears like Rudolf wanted a new female face of the company. The reason being that women just trust other women much more than they would interacting with a creepy looking guy like Rudolf. This is a tactic that is often used in sex work and in porn in order to push girls past their boundaries and past their limits. Chiela accuses Rudolf and Elise of several things, including allowing her and other performers to make porn without getting a valid sexual health test. Elise even admitted to me that she allowed Chiela to work with no test, which is just a huge issue.
Not every recording. Yes, but we don't.
We do safe sex.
We do safe sex. So she has done the test, but she doesn't had the results in. I asked her, "Do you want to wait till your results?" And she answered me, "No, it's okay. I know I'm fine." So then we let go the movie.
Even if you're using condoms for porn, testing is crucial to protect everyone's health, particularly from diseases like syphilis and diseases that are spread with skin-on-skin contact. Another disturbing allegation is that Rudolf offered Chiela alcohol on set to relax her. Elise even admitted to me that she gave Chiela a glass of wine on set, but then she got defensive when I asked how Chiela can give true consent when she's under the influence of alcohol. Alcohol and drugs are never allowed to be on a porn set, on any production, because even if you just have one drink, it lowers your inhibitions, and that means that, legally speaking, for the company producing the porn, real consent, like true consent, is impossible. I'm actually shocked that Elise admitted even giving her one drink. It was just such a normal, casual thing for her. It's just well known in the industry that you don't do it. Visa and MasterCard, for example, they're the people that regulate porn. And they'll take processing away from a company, even if your actors are just pretending to drink alcohol in a porn video. So to have actors actually drinking real alcohol on set, in my opinion, it's criminal. I also have other alleged victims who confirmed to me that they've also been offered alcohol on set. In my opinion, this suggests that Rudolf and Elise are using alcohol as part of a strategy to make models more compliant. And this has 2 implications. It means that their productions kind of become like sexual assault factories, where it's hard for the girl to say no to things because her inhibitions have been lowered via the alcohol that's been pushed on them. And the second thing is it could also have implications for sex trafficking, because they seem to specialize in working with new models. And the truth is, a lot of new models, they do back out at the last minute or say no, But if you're providing them with alcohol, you're intoxicating them, like even a little bit, then you're going to increase the number of girls that do porn who normally would have said no. And in my opinion, that would be a form of sex trafficking. Belgian authorities and payments companies, they really need to investigate this company and figure out what's going on as soon as possible. Chiela also made other serious allegations of non-consensual activities on set, but Elise blocked me before responding to these claims. Instead, she issued a general denial, citing that Chiela came for a second shoot. So how can there possibly have been anything bad? But as you'll see in the interview, this doesn't really add up because it was her second shoot where she had problems. I asked Elise for proof of consent on Chiela's videos, as it's standard for porn companies to keep detailed records, including consent forms, where the model would tick activities that she agrees to, as well as behind-the-scenes footage where you film the model from the moment she arrives to the moment she leaves. And the reason porn companies do that is to protect themselves against false claims by models. However, Elise couldn't provide me any of this, and she couldn't even provide me with unedited footage from the shoot, so I could go through it and check if Chiela's claims were true or not. And that just looks really bad. During my research on this story, I actually spoke to several other alleged victims of Ruud and Elise, and they received legal threats warning them not to speak to me. The letters were sent by a major Belgian law firm called Everest Law, and the letters said that Rudolf and Elise had evidence and witness statements proving that the allegations against them were false and orchestrated by one of their rivals. I contacted Rudolf and asked him to show me this evidence proving the claims are false. He couldn't provide any of it. I think he made that up. I then contacted Everest Law to see if Rudolf and Elise really were their clients, because it's just strange that such a big law firm would be involved with this tiny porn company, unless there's some kind of personal connection to make that happen. For example, the partner that sent out the legal threats was called Joris Steen, and he doesn't even appear to be a defamation lawyer or a media lawyer. So I'm thinking, is this guy just a friend of Elise and Ruud's? Is he one of the people that attends their notorious sex parties? I don't know, maybe other people at this law firm go to their sex parties. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I asked them to confirm if they're a client or not, but Everest Law ignored me, so I can only speculate. But in my opinion, this is one of the most disgusting parts of the story. Such a big law firm using their power to bully and intimidate alleged victims of sexual violence. I just think that when you're dealing with something like this, even if you're on the other side, you have to approach potential victims of sexual violence in a sensitive way. Like, at least check the evidence. Don't just lie and use your legal position to try to intimidate vulnerable people. So before I play the interview, I just want to ask for your help. I think this story is just the tip of the iceberg. I've heard other accounts of abuse at Kim Holland's productions, and I've heard disturbing reports of things happening at Ruud and Elise's sex parties. So if you have information on any of those things, or there's anything you can tell me about Elise, Ruud, or Kim, please contact me via email or social media. I can keep you anonymous. There'll be more stories to come on this. And if you are considering working in porn in the Netherlands or in Belgium, I would strongly urge you to think twice before working for this company. The risks to your health and your mental health, they're just not worth it. And lastly, I just want to point out that scandals seem to be catching up with Kim Holland Productions. Recently, Dutch journalist Renate van der Zee exposed a huge sex trafficking operation by a guy called Daniël van der W. And he was allegedly involved in trafficking hundreds of East European women into porn in the Netherlands and Belgium. And Kim Holland have confirmed that they recruited through him. There's lots of shady stuff happening and we need to get to the bottom of it. There's links in the bio to some of the stories we've mentioned in this intro. And yeah, let's start the interview and tell me what you think of it in the comments. We're going to be talking about Kim Holland and your experience with all that. And I guess, can we start at the beginning? Before porn, before sex work, like, what's your story? Where did you grow up?
So I did grow up in the Netherlands. When I was 3.5 years old, child policy took me away from my parents. So I came to live with my step-parents. But that did not go well for such a long time. So child policy took me away again. And that's why I traveled around in the Netherlands and been on 27 different places until I was 18 years old.
Wow. I mean, that's quite an intense childhood.
Yes, it
And
was.
when you said you were traveling around, does that mean you were homeless or you were like...
No, different child groups, because I was not 18 years old. They could decide where I need to live. And every place there I was too young. There I could not stay for longer than 3 months. And that's why I moved 27 times around until I was 18 years old. So I never had one place that I could call my home, actually.
And is that like different foster families, or is that...
No, it's really only children are there.
Oh, like an orphanage or
Yes,
like...
orphanage.
Okay.
Yes, 27
Wow.
different ones.
What's it like growing up in different orphanages? Like...
It was not nice. You could not be a child. You was really a grown-up when you
Really?
was already very small and of course very sensitive, but you could not be a child. It was not allowed there. So
How do you mean?
whether you could not play in the garden, lots of times you could not go outside. 24 locked up in the room. It happens a lot. When you are growing, you could eat only 3 times a day. And when you want a snack, it was simply not there. Sometimes you could not even eat apple because they had then 10 apples and you live there with 12 children. So 10 children get an apple and you just get not. Lots of medications they give you there. I have a paper. There's 56 different types of medication, antidepressant, sleeping pills. They test a lot of children there in the orphanages because they need to test the medication somewhere. And that's the place where they do it, because there they can do it in secret, because you have no parents to watch at you and say, oh, my child, there's something wrong with her. But you cannot. They have doctors and everything inside there, so they can keep everything secret.
And what's the atmosphere like there? Do you kind of bond with the other children, I guess, because you're there together, or is it a tough environment? Or
you have a living room where you are together. You can also go together on the school that's inside the building also. But you cannot talk a lot, because you have every time you have those adults who are watching you, you need to keep by the rules. So I drink a glass and I put it here, you know, they come and they say you need to put it here, and then they're gonna count and they see if I took something else. Every child just becomes a criminal when you're there. So everything what you do, you are doing wrong. They give you therapy, they make you a criminal. Lots of children come there because of abuse of their parents. My mother was on drugs, very bad, and my father also, drugs and alcohol. And they abused more of my brothers and sisters. So they took my sister away, me and my little brother. But after there were born 6 more kids. And those kids, they never took away. So they get abused, you know, a lot. But the kids also who came in those groups, they became more abused than that there should have been. Because there are many grown-ups who just like to be abusive against the child. And they really try to break the kids who are there inside. So that's...
And how old were you when you leave that system?
18 years. They can keep you until you're 18, and when you're not smart enough and they kick you down for such a long time, you know, you want to kill yourself, you go on drugs, a lot of kids do really just do not survive, or do never get a home, never get a job. So I can stay there until I'm 18, and then they put me on the street. So I was never on the street, you know, I was from my 3.5 until I was 18, I lived inside these groups. So there is no television. You have no Christmas. You have nothing there. So when you are 18, you get pushed on the street with your bags and everything. They say, you know, we cannot keep you here anymore. We do not get paid for it anymore. Take care of your own life. Then I was on the streets. So then I need to find out where I should go to live. So I lived a little bit everywhere until I found a house that I could rent, but it was really not easy because of my background. So I just could not do what an average person could. And that's... Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm speechless, to be honest. And I guess something like that like shapes you a lot, and I think those kind of experiences can make you quite hard, but
Yes.
you're not.
I'm still very sensitive. I'm always open-minded. You know, I was, of course, depressed for a long time, very sad with my life. But they always told me it was my fault because I was born and that was the mistake. So I blamed my whole life for it. Just my kindness, just everything. You know, I did right. They punished me, so it was wrong, and they never will tell you something that you did good. So it was my personality failure, my complete existence. And after that, I always told them when I'm 18, I will look up for my parents. I go visit them because I was not allowed to. Until I was 18, they say you cannot visit your brothers, not your sisters, but also not your parents, not your family. So I did not know my grandparents. I did not know anyone. I did not know even the existence that my family exists, about 300 living people. I only knew 4 of them until I was
Wow.
18 years. And then I could travel on my own. And then I searched for my family, and I did go there and go to their houses, meet them in person. And I want to know if the stories were true.
Hmm.
Lots of them were true, but in a different way.
Yeah, there's different perspectives on stories, isn't there?
Yes, they should have taken me away. That was the right thing to do. But they never checked in on different family members who want to take us in.
Mhm.
So we had lots of family who could take us in, lots of family who did not have criminal records, who did nothing wrong. They could care for us. They wanted to care for us. But the child policy said, no, we're not going to do it. And we take these children and we put them everywhere in the Netherlands. And that's how it happened.
It's very, very sad.
Yeah.
Are you close with some family now?
Yes, I meet some uncles, cousins in Germany, in Belgium, in the Netherlands. And I never knew that there were normal people in my family because they never told me. They kept it a secret. And when my parents, when I was in the group and they tried to send me a card for my birthday, they put it in a box. So they say, no, your parents do not think about you. Your family is not thinking about you. And when I was 18, you know, I get this huge freaking box and all the cards from birthdays, Christmas, everything was in there. All the years that I thought that my family had forgotten me, they were actually thinking about me, but they could never contact me because they put it in the box behind me.
How did it feel opening that box?
It was very sad, very, very sad. Yes, because I always thought I was alone. My family put me away, and I was chanceless. You know, I did not have any, and they did only care about themselves, and that was not the truth. They lots of times they fight to get us back, but they never stood a chance.
Yeah.
So
Well, no, I've never heard of anything like that
no.
before. No, I guess maybe that's just a sign of how privileged a life I've had, I guess.
Yes, it's the latest years. It's coming now a little bit on television. Children, first they were scared to talk about it because they would say you're crazy. It's your fault you're sitting there. Yes, you have children. It's their fault. They really did not have any respect for their parents. They were aggressive towards people or cars or some different stuff or use drugs on a young age. You know, you have very, very different types. But the reason I was there is just because my parents could not take care of me. And for this to come at such places and get abused, you know, again and again and again, mental, but also for your body, that's just that a child cannot, how you say it, when you grow up, a child is still growing up. So
Yeah, even adults are still growing, I think. So
right, but they tore that apart. So when you are 18, I mean, most of the kids are not healthy. Most of the kids are very depressed, have no life, have not knowing, their family's nothing.
yeah, and how much warning do you get that you're going to have to leave?
That was when I was 18. They pushed me on the street on my birthday. So on your
On your
birthday,
birthday?
yes, they are not allowed to keep you one day longer. They are really allowed just to keep you until your birthday. And then you just go, yeah,
Happy birthday, fuck off, basically.
right. Yes, you get your stuff. And really the place, even if you did live there for 5 years, when your birthday is there, these people do not know you anymore. Doors are closing. They do not know you anymore. You can also never come back there.
And how much warning do you get? Is there like a plan? And it's like, okay, in 1 year, you're going to be leaving. So you need to do this, this, and this. It's not like a surprise, right?
For some kids, there is help. I mean, they say, yes, you have 1 year, then you are 18. You should see which school you want to go. For a job you want to look for, what you want to do. But for me, no, there was nothing because I lived already there my whole life. I was just a number. So they could, because my whole life was in there, they could never show a school that I was outside on a school. They could never, I was handled like a criminal, just like a number. And that's why I did not have the right what other kids had when I came outside. So you come there on the street with your stuff and you go search for a place to live, right?
What, literally, you're just walking around town?
With your bags.
Are you
and there
serious?
you go. Yes. That's 90%, 95% of the children have this when they're 18 years old.
And did you get a job or what?
No, I never get a job. I was on over 30 places because I really wanted to work. I want to feel like a normal person and I really wanted it. I was very creative, had lots of energy and I love to work. So I go in the city, in the last city where I sat on this group. And I go there in the city and everywhere I gave my CV, where I worked, what I did, because I did some stuff, but not professionally, but for my step-parents, for their job, or so I could only tell this. And that's why I never get answers. Then later I go to the store where they sell clothes and I ask, I came here, I talked with you, you like me, it was, you think I had a chance for the job. But actually I did not, because they say yes. And then we searched for your history, where did you live? They just make one call, they know where I live. And every time when they know I live there, no one wants to have me, nobody.
Wow.
Nobody. And also, it's not only this, it's the police, it's everyone who is against you. So if I want to get help somewhere, I just get treated like an animal and not like a human being, because you have rights, because you are a Dutch person, you are here, you grow up with normal parents, so you have an existent life. I can only show my addresses, and that's why they say, you better go there. We did not see you here.
Yeah, I guess I've never just comprehended that an address would be a negative thing.
Really negative, yes. And the consequences are just huge. When I come out, I just say I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be anything. I simply cannot be. I simply cannot, because no school wants to have me. They search where I have been, and
Or even schools wouldn't have you.
even schools, yes, because I was inside their schools, and there you can get tested, every year for an exam or something, and then you make it, and then the end of the year they say, yeah, but you make it in here, so outside you cannot use it. So every year I go there to school, and for 6 years maybe I did the same. I get the same books. Every time the same, because some groups are working together and some groups are not. So if you such many years as me in those groups, you know that lots of books are the same and you do not come farther. And every time they tell you, yes, now you make the test, now you can go outside to a school, go for your MBO or something, but you simply cannot, because these papers are only allowed for the inside, like children can act like they are on school, but
So there's like two parallel school systems, like one for
Absolutely.
orphans and one for
for the outside world, for the normal people, yes. Your books are so stupid that it's not making for your intelligence. You all get the same book, so it's the basic. And when you say, that's easy for me, I already did this 3 times, it doesn't matter. I mean, you still have to do it. And then you come out and then you see you learn nothing inside, and your possibilities are just gone because you are already 18. What you gonna do now? Are you gonna be a student? How you want to be a student? You have no money, you have no context. Only thing you know was that place, and you cannot come there anymore. So you're on your own. And that's what lots of people go back to drugs, already have early children, or still on this day do not have a house, or did not find themselves back.
I guess that happened to a lot of your peer group.
Yes, yes, it happens everywhere in the Netherlands. The last few years they talk more about it, I see also, but still not enough. And lots of people or children who talk have been there for 2 years or 3 years. I've been there for over 10 years, 15 years to be exact. So it's a whole different story. And the information I have it's a lot. And still lots of people do not know that it's very dangerous for children also to be in there.
And do you think that was a factor in you getting into sex work? Like, how did that happen?
I really enjoyed sex. I enjoyed sex a lot. So I knew that when I would become 18 years old, I knew I would go to a sex club and would work there. Yes,
That's like, yeah, I mean, that's like quite an unusual thing to say. Like you knew before you were 18 that you would go into that.
My mother was a whore, you know. She was a prostitute. So, but she did not do it right. She worked with drugs, with alcohol. She would even do it for a bottle. I was her child, and the only thing I knew of her is that she was very bad and making bad decisions. I did not want to be this way, you know. She was a sick woman. She did not do the stuff right. And I thought I could handle myself, you know. When my mother is like this, and I already know this, I can take care of myself, of my health. I can do it. So, yes, when I was 18 and...
You were thinking this like while you were in the orphanage?
Yes, of course, yes. Because my whole life was already there. So it was my first chance to go outside. When I say I want to have a job at the supermarket, of course, I was not allowed because they could see the papers and I could not live there or work there. But I could be a prostitute, you know, they would not look at my papers, they would not look at where I lived, so I could be that. And I know I would have lots of fun in the job also. But so I traveled immediately to Germany, and that's why I started in my first private house. So there was no alcohol allowed. Just a private club where you pay everyday rent and you get 50-50, but you also get extra paid for extra service that you give.
Okay. When you said earlier as well, you said about how you liked sex a lot.
Yes.
And what do you mean by that exactly? Is it like...
I know I was a nymphomaniac. I don't know if I say it right, because I just had lots in my head, and yes, I already had sex, but still, even when I was in the orphanage, I chose still to not do it when I was 12 years old or something. No, I still wait, you know, 3 years later, I think, maybe now it's right. No, I wait still another year. So every guy who was trying to have sex with me, I just said no. And that made me feel very strong, because I could have sex with a guy, and after this, he would not look at me again. Even when the sex was very nice, you know, he would fight for me, but until he get the sex, he would not look at me anymore. So I know I was only good for sex. And then I thought, yeah, I have lots of sex, but I can do the other way. I can also have sex with you and then leave you, you know, and do it once. And I would not be bothered, my feelings not get hurt. And I was thinking it made more fun to do it like this. It was more the way I had more respect for my body, for my...
So being like promiscuous was a way of like kind of taking control and not getting hurt.
Right, yes, yes. I saw it like the right way to become stronger and had more respect for myself. And the first club I came, also the man there was very straight. So if a client asks if you want to work without condom, you get paid 300 euro from this client. You could lock up the door and call the police. You keep him in there. And the police came, and then you say, yeah, what happened? Yeah, he went to fuck me without a condom. And then immediately police said, okay, now he must pay. Because you, as a girl, you get lots more paid when you take care of your health and you want to fight for it. But lots of girls simply do not know. That's how I started. That's why I knew. So
how did you know so much when you started? And how did you, you say like a lot of girls don't know and they don't know how to take care. So what made you strong and different? Did you have a mentor or something like that?
no, it was more, I think my mother was the version I did just not want to be. So I want to become the better version and not make the mistakes that she does, because I did not have respect for her and the way she does it. So I just wanted to do the different way, and I tried it. And at first you have, of course, many clients who say, yeah, when you do not want to kiss with me or do not want to do this, I go to your neighbor. I said, no problem, you go to my neighbor. And as more as I did this, the more respect I've got. And at the end, I did not have clients who ask me without condom or who ask me, but yes, I need to fight for it a little. You know, you need to stand your feet and really can say no to have clients who come back and have respect for you.
Yeah.
And that's where it becomes nice.
And how long have you been doing sex work for?
Almost 10 years.
Okay.
Yes.
And how do you find it in general? It's
the more places I've been, you know, for myself, I liked it really much. I like to speak with different people every time. It's just different. I love it. The only thing is how the girls are getting protected, or you know before you go inside and what you know when you are inside are completely different worlds. So of course you think, you know, you're healthy, you go in healthy, you go outside healthy. It's not true. You need to learn a lot of stuff and maybe come on many different places, because I did not end there. I want to see more. I want to see the rooms that you can rent. I want to go in the house, you know, with the windows where I pay for my own room, and see how I would get paid there. And so I ended up like high class, you know, I did everything. I just wanted to see, how is it working here? How is it working here? And then I saw the rules, and then I think, here are the rules also not good. Here they're a little better. And
yeah, so you tried like lots of different types of sex work and ways of doing things.
yeah, I just wanted to see what is for me, what is right for me. And when I was in the clubs and, you know, I had 16 clients in a day, at the end of the day, the money was a present, but my body says, you know, this is not what I like. This is not what I wanted. I wanted to do more. I wanted, experience more, be more than only you go inside for 10 minutes and, you know, it's ready. No, my intelligence was, I can also talk with you when you need me to. I can go with you and eat somewhere because, you know, I'm a likable person. I can do that. Giving hugs, you know, many people just came and hugging with me, and I get paid for it. You know, I did not say you can only hug with me. No, but they came for it. So that's why I had a good feeling about my job, what I was doing, and that I could say I'm not like my mother. I have a very different path.
No, I mean, it's great that you managed to work that out. And then at some point, I guess you tried porn. Like, how did that come about? Because, you know, if you're doing well in other sex work, like, you know, why porn, and what was the thinking there?
I was searching on the internet already for 4 years, I think. I just could not find a way to work in the porn industry. I just could not at first. I write here and there. Sometimes I get an answer, but everything I read was just not right. I thought, no, you know, it's not the right place. They ask me already something now to do. I think, no.
Yeah, there's a lot of fake producers and fake
Yes.
castings and things like that. And it's a weird industry to get into.
Of course. And you have, you know, Instagram also. Many people write you and say, oh, yes, I'm producer, I'm this, I'm this. I do not believe these people.
It's usually fake, yeah.
Yes, right. But when I searched further on Google, then the only name, of course, was really, how you say it? The name I knew was Kim Holland, because I grew up, and already when I was like 15, 16 years old, you know, she was the most famous woman here in Netherlands, and every girl of my school, everyone knew her. You know, you wanted to go in the porn industry, you watch her videos, and then you know how it works. So that was...
yeah, and for people that don't know, like Kim Holland, she's a real porn star. It's like where
A
you're a
Dutch porn
celebrity
star,
and
yes.
a porn star.
Her name is too big, I cannot, I do not know another name who's even big as that. So you search for a safe name, you think this would be a good company. It's already been there for a long time. A lot of girls working there. You think everything's great. So I write a message. Then I get a message back, but it was not from Kim. It was from Elise from Vlaanderen. But I never heard of her name. I just did not know who she was. So she told me that they work for this company name and that she, together with Ruud, make porn. She was immediately interested. A little bit later, she asked already if she could call me on the phone, like video, so she could see me.
And just to help people watching, so Ruud is Elise's partner and he's like the ex-husband of Kim Holland.
Yes. Yes. So at first, you have only contact with Elise. Then you have the video call, and then you see Elise for the first time, and she is really, really, really nice. You think she is from Belgium. When you're a Dutch person, you think, oh, they talk so cute there. So everything seems nice, but it was at first. It was nice. She was very kind, very warm. She knew which questions she should ask me.
Yeah, how does that conversation go, the video call? Like, what do they explain?
Yeah, very easy, actually. She tells you that you can go there and how the video works, what you like, what you do not like. They will never do something you don't like. I asked her which clothes should I bring. She said lingerie or something, That's it. She was actually very easy. She was just observing how it would look like, how I would talk to her. That's why she immediately said to me, "You are right for this job. I know you're gonna kick it really far. You should come here, and I think we will do it very well with each other." So of course, I believed her because I think, yes, I already searching for 4 years now, and this is my first chance to make real porn. I felt good.
A lot of people, obviously, they think about doing porn, but then when the reality of, oh, everyone I know is going to see it, like that, when that sinks in, most people kind of change their mind. But I guess that wasn't the case for you, or did you understand the implications of doing it?
Most important for me was that my brothers and sisters never should know what I do. I did not want them to know. They are all too young, so I could never explain them why I'm in it. That I want it and I had fun and stuff. I could not tell them because they are still too young. But my parents and different family members, they took my brothers and sisters from me away. Which means is I can simply not see them until today. I cannot. Just my aunt, I do not know her, says, your sister lives here. You cannot see her. So at first I thought, when I do nothing wrong and I can show I have a perfect life, I have a house, I have a job, I have this, then I would see my brothers and sisters. But I did go to the judge. I had every proof that my brothers and sisters tell me that they miss me, tell me that they want to see me, want to be with me, but they just did not allow it. So at first, a few years, I did not do it because I was scared that they would take this to a judge and say, look, you sell your body everywhere on the internet and you want to see your sister, like this. It's not good for her. She can better live her life without you. First, I thought it was better so to not do, until I came after it that I never stood a chance to see my brothers and sisters. And then I thought, you know what? I can protect myself for my whole life to not doing the job that I really liked or want to do. So I just did it.
Yeah.
So because it did not make sense.
Yeah.
So,
No, that makes sense to me. I hear that a lot in porn. Usually the mums are okay with it, but the dads are not. So you find that, like, absent fathers are kind of a big recruiter for the industry.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. And so I guess, and then where did things go after that call with Elise?
I think maybe a week later, I met her for the first time.
That's quite a fast turnaround.
Yes, it was really fast. It was one time you can think, oh, they need girls, but I was not thinking anything bad. I was just thinking,
And you'd already made the decision to do porn, so...
yes, I really wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I thought this is my first porn experience and I go for it. I was very excited and I think first time I get the cameras on my face and yes, I knew my brothers and sisters would also see it, maybe later, but this was for me not it was for me only a winning position because this was going about me. So that's a week later I did travel there and then I had my first video.
Okay, and how did that go? So I guess when you arrived, what was the first impression?
I was very nervous, but Elise and Ruth, they were, everyone is nervous, and they say every girl who comes in here, is nervous, and I could sit there on the table, and alcohol was already there, so you could easily,
There was alcohol?
Yes, that was for me strange because I always say I work. How you say it? Without alcohol, without drugs.
Yeah, in porn you're not allowed to have
I just
alcohol.
really don't like it. So, but it was there, drink something because when you're nervous, it's better. First I said no, but then Ruud also said, you can drink one and it should not hurt. You just drink one and maybe your video is 10 times better. I don't know.
Yeah,
But they tell you like this, and
I just have to say, just for people that are watching, that think, it's okay to have a beer at lunchtime in their job. But in porn, it's not allowed at all.
no.
Visa and MasterCard, who regulate the porn industry,
Right.
they don't allow it. And the reason is that when you're intoxicated, then you can't consent to something.
Right.
So even just having one drink of alcohol, it does lower your inhibitions.
Yes.
So it makes everything that happens technically not consensual. Or
Right.
maybe not consensual.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's not allowed. And the fact that that is happening on Kim Holland's site, like Visa and MasterCard, should be taking payments away.
It was immediately, it was not even for 10 minutes. I was inside and actually we were already drinking, like this.
Back in the day, in the 90s and early 2000s, porn companies would have an alcohol budget.
Mm-hmm.
And it was big in all the porn industry was like a party, but the industry's learned from that and improved a lot. So it's really shocking that there would be alcohol provided.
I think also it should really not be allowed because every job I had, I work completely, how you say it?
Yeah, sober.
Sober, right. So I also thought, no, I had a moment that I said, no, I don't drink, but it was too easy for them to push me in this way from, yes, you're so nervous, you want to make this video, right? You cannot go like this or shaking or that we can see that you cannot handle the video, that must be big, you must be right and great and everyone is going to see.
So they pressured you into drinking?
Yes, they did because I also drink alcohol, sometimes when I go to a party or I know what alcohol is, right? It's not my first time. So it's not you take one drink and you should feel actually something. But I did not finish my drink and then I saw it was on the kitchen already again. And then I looked and Ruud was pouring my glass some little more. And then I was thinking, but I already told you I did not want to drink. Now I drink one, now I need a second one. So...
And was it hard to... I guess you felt like it was hard to say no to the alcohol.
Yeah, right. Because for me it was, I wanted to handle myself professional and I did not know what to expect what they expect from me for this first video, They know it, you can fuck it up just before your video.
I guess you don't want to be like an awkward person or difficult.
Yes, right. And it felt like one. So I already... felt myself in a position that I felt more nervous than I was already am, because I said I did not want to drink, and that was my second drink. Because the actor was a little later. I had maybe 1.5, maybe 2. I believe I drank already, but that was when it already started working, and I thought, I don't know, but maybe there's something wrong with the alcohol. Maybe there's something slightly different to this alcohol. So I quit drinking, and that's what that I thought, yes, I did not drink a lot, but I already feel something, and that was for me not right. So that's actually a little bit how it started, and that was that I wanted to keep my eyes open and see, how it did go further.
Yeah, so you were kind of on guard, I guess, at that point.
Yes. So when we sat on the table, further everything was nice. We sit there with the actor. They ask me what I like, what I did not like. This conversation, nothing wrong with it. It was just the alcohol that I felt a little off. Further, we did go in the video. Elise starts talking with you. Then the video is starting.
Yeah, I guess just before the video starts, I guess, like, how was the conversation about the video? Like, how did they inform you about what would happen? And
It was a little bit more, what do you like? Do you like hard or do you like slow? Can they slap you? Can they not? They say that if I do not like something, I can say it. But first they hear everything, what I like, what I do not like. They ask, have you something mysterious? Have you some stuff that you never did? Or a little bit playing.
and this was like an on-camera kind of for the video.
This is off camera. Then yes. Then we did still not start with video.
This is like the consent conversation.
Yeah, I thought more it were normal questions, but it was Elise who called me already a slut. It was not in my second. It was also in my first video. It started really early. I started the video and then she said, "Yeah, little slut. You can come here. You can walk to here." And then I was already thinking, I'm not a slut. What's wrong with you? Immediately I became angry because I thought, I know a slut and I'm not that. So why you cannot just call me a girl or a woman or something like that? No. It was immediately like this. My name was gone.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that, you should also agree the language of the video before you start. Most companies don't, sadly, but the good ones do.
Yeah.
Because, what offends or turns on someone mentally is like different for each person. And sometimes you can trigger a traumatic memory by using the wrong language. So
Yeah, right.
it's very important. And I just want to talk about health as well. Like, so I guess you and the actor, you see each other's STI tests and things like that.
No. You think they should be, right?
Not should be, but have to.
Have to, right. I asked her before. I wanted to test myself. I want to bring my tests. And I asked her how I know if the actor was healthy, if he could show me a test. Then she told me before already that it was not necessary. I could work my first time just like this. And then maybe my next time, maybe I could bring, some papers to show that I was healthy.
She didn't even want a test from you.
Right. She did not even want to see my test because I still brought my test. So I hoped so I can show the test to the actor and he would show his, that we were on the same page. But she did not even want to see mine. He did not brought his, and she said just it was not important for the first shoot. We could all do it next time, and that's why I started to became really, really serious about thinking about my health. And I started this is only going south because
Why do you think they did that?
I think it's just not important to them. I think it's just the money what's important.
Because you pay your own test, right?
Of course, yes. They have nothing to do with the test. I just bring the papers and show them. Yeah.
Why do they?
I think because they have many actors who work there every day, almost of the week.
So, I mean, it doesn't cost
so
them
when
any
you
more money or
test-
any time. Like, they're not
No,
getting
for them,
tested.
nothing.
So why are they not testing?
Just because they do not care about your health. They do care about the money, about the same people that they have at their places. They can, they have 15 girls, 3 guys. And when this guy is tested this week, but he fucks with all these 15 girls in this week, and you are on the 8th day, but the test is for 10 days. So I can still have sex with this guy even when he has sex with 15 girls. And they, guys work there in 1 week a lot. So
And did you see the actor's test?
No, no, I did not. I wanted to see, but he did not brought it with him because she.
The reason I say it is because in the porn industry, 3 or 4 years ago, we had a problem with HIV in the industry. And we realized that there was a testing problem across Europe. And the Belgian companies were fighting it really hard. I don't remember if Kim Holland was. I didn't know of her at that time. But the Belgian companies, especially Alleges and some of the others, they were just doing home HIV tests, which are not reliable.
No.
And they didn't want to pay for proper testing because it's expensive.
It's expensive because, when I want to test as a sex worker, when I want to test where I live, because it's also different in the Netherlands, I can do 3 tests in one whole year. And every test is for 10 days, that you're allowed to work. But I can only do 3. The rest I must pay.
Yeah.
I must pay. So you pay up to 400, 500 euro to get tested, and just keep your job. And
yeah, I think this was the problem in Belgium, that they were filming in the middle of the countryside and the lab was in Brussels.
Yeah.
And it was like very impractical for them.
Yeah.
But that, and also the tests they were doing, they were just not to standard. I think we talked about Windows before, where the tests that a lot of people were doing, it didn't detect syphilis, for example, for like up to 4 months. So that's useless if you're having sex without condoms. So, whereas the tests they were doing in Budapest would detect it within 10 to 12 days, where you can actually stop an outbreak spreading. So yeah, that's incredibly worrying. And I've not heard of someone just not testing. I've heard of bad testing in porn, and sometimes that's maybe unavoidable. Like in the UK, it's quite hard to get good testing, but no testing?
Yes, because they earn money, It was especially my first time. It goes, no, next time. It was immediately like this. It was too easy for her to do it. So normally she does it.
And how did you feel going ahead without seeing the actor's test?
Of course, I was a little angry because she lied to me. And my health, was for me very, very important. But I was already there.
I was going to say, did you want to leave or what?
Yes, I wanted to leave, but I drove for almost 4 hours to get to her. They also would pay for my travel expenses. So I needed to stay there to finish it, to get paid for my travel expenses. That was actually why I did not leave earlier when I heard it. Like it, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a problem. It's a big problem.
It's a big problem, yes.
And I've heard similar things to that as well, that like when a model is traveling, it is harder for her to say no to things.
Especially, I should say, when a girl needs money. Better you never tell such persons that you need the money, because I think when they know that, you're a little farther away from the good things.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that's very, very true. And so, yeah, I guess like that's getting to the video, I guess. So how did the video go? You said that she called you a slut.
Yes,
at the beginning.
many times. I was scared because when she told me the whole time, I was a slut and stuff, I was thinking, I'm not a slut. I handle myself really good. I wanted to have, a nice video that you look at the video and you think, oh, nice video. Oh, yeah, she did it. Yeah, I did it. Proud. I was thinking about something like that.
It's like a memory, and it can be like sex can be a beautiful thing, and it can look good on camera as well.
And my first video was all right, but the test was not done, condom and stuff. Everything was actually in a problem because they do not have lots of condoms there. They do not have how you call it, the gel.
Was the shoot with condoms?
Yes, there was very lots of. They asked me maybe about 5 times if I even could do it without. So
they were pressuring you to not use a condom?
Yes, of course, yes. Okay. When the test is also not important, then why you should fuck with condom, right?
Yeah, and again, just for people that are watching and are not in the porn industry, even if you're using condoms, you still have to get tested, because like condoms are like, they only really protect against like blood, like blood transfused.
Yeah, but
That-
also, when also for sucking, sucking the dick without a condom, they do it a lot, a lot. You can also see it in their videos. They do it a lot. And when you have two actors working with three girls, and one girl sucks him, and the next girl also, then you become very sick.
Yeah,
So, you're a lucky person.
even just one, or he's got a private life, and like there
Yes.
is always going to be some risk.
Your health is too many at risk. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to use condoms. You have to use testing, even if you're using a condom, because like syphilis, it's transmitted with skin contact.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like, and gonorrhea, chlamydia, they're in throats,
Right.
they're in.
So you can get very, very sick. And some sickness, they still not have a treatment for it. So it's which one you want to have. You want a long term, you want a short term, but you don't know what you get, which present you get from it. So
Yeah, everybody gets herpes.
yeah.
That's the gift.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess just tell me more about the video. Like, how did it go?
So this was my first time I was there. I think for the first time, actually, the video further did go well. After the video, I talked with them. I still sit on the table. I talk with them. Then I did go home.
Were they happy?
On the moment, it looked like yes. I think it did go well for as far as it could go wrong.
Yeah.
So I was not very happy, but I think this was all right. It could have been worse. So I mean, the guy did nothing worse. It was just my health and all the time thinking about it, and the alcohol and stuff. But the second time got pretty bad. Yes.
Yeah. So I guess like once it was over, you felt good about doing porn,
Yes.
and yeah. So you went back for a second time.
Yeah. First, she did not pay my travel expenses fully.
Over the first video.
Over the first video. That's why I had a complication with her, and I write with her about it. Then she showed me a Belgian website where she showed I don't know what was there, but she should pay me at around 90 or 120 euro for my travel expenses. I only get 30 or 40, and she gave me a Belgian website where she said, no, look, you have only right on this. But I was with my driver, and we put a knob so we could see exactly what we had driven from my house to her.
Yeah.
She was immediately frustrated when I asked her about this, and she just refuses to pay me.
It's very, it's not a lot of money.
It's not a lot of money. That's it.
Why would you want the model to?
About such a small amount.
Yeah.
Right. Then what is the problem? So she was immediately frustrated. She became a little angry. Her voice just didn't sound like the voice, I heard last time, the sweet woman that I was starting to know. I had a discussion with her. Then Ruud also wrote me a message. And that was when I knew that they had complications between each other. But he would make sure that I would get my money. And that's why if I could come again for my next video. So they paid me. So 1.5 weeks later. And I thought, okay, they fixed it. Why I should not go a second time? Why not? Further, she was nice, she already knows how I am about my health. We knew everything, right?
Yeah.
What could go wrong? So I did go there for a second video. Before this video, I get messages on WhatsApp from Elise. Those were pictures from the actor I should work with, but I could not see the actor's face or something because it were just videos that he was fucking different women. And the women just did not seem to look happy. So that's only why I looked strange at the pictures.
They didn't look happy?
No, they had sad faces, one of them looked like she was crying and screaming. The other of them looked like she was sleeping while she was getting, It was just strange. It was.
And these were
some things
videos
were not right.
from porn videos, or?
These were photos. I think she just took when they were filming some videos of there. I think she took them with her own phone because it were strange pictures. Yeah, that was why I think, I need to work with this guy, but you send me pictures, where I see yeah, but there's something not. There was just something off, really off.
Yeah.
But even when I saw it, it did not bother me enough to not go there. I was already thinking, you know I love sex. I know now what to expect. I want to do this. I go for it. So I traveled there a second time, and then everything was starting to go wrong.
Yeah, take me through it, I guess, from when you arrived. Like,
I came there. The actors were not there. They came a little later. So I was there with Elise and with Ruud. And they started talking about me with the series on the television, Spuiten en Slikken.
okay, what's that?
It's a series where they ask sex workers or just random people about different sex experiences, and you can answer that. It's just really fun to watch.
Like some publicity.
Publicity,
yeah.
yes. So it would look like they make commercial for you.
Yeah.
So you get more jobs, you get bigger, more famous. It just.
Kind of them.
Yeah, it was really kind, warm-hearted also. I thought, yeah, it's so sweet. I should do it. And but I said yes. It looked like really fun, and but it did not came so far. It was just a lie to keep me in there.
Okay.
But I just needed to find out. So a little later I did. I was there, yes, for my video. Then the actors came inside, and there was also a girl who came with one of the actors. That was the girlfriend from one of the actors.
Okay.
I have nothing against strange people, but as soon as she came in the room, everything turned already, because Elise saw her and she thought, oh, you must be a new girl here. I already know your friend, but I do not know you. So immediately she jumps over and goes sit with this girl on the table, and she forgot about me. She was just talking with her, I want you to work for me. When can you work for me? When can you come here? So when she's doing this, and I get a little on the back because I'm a Dutch person, and when Belgian people talk with each other, I could not understand almost a word of it. So I could not talk with them. They were also not looking at me. Then Ruud, sitting on the table, he says to Elise, Chiela is here. You should also talk to her, because this is her video. Why are you not talking to her? And then she, grumps like why I should talk with her. You see, I'm talking. You see, I'm busy. It was strange because last time she was a little bit like my bestie, my best friend. She was really kind, really respectful. But we had some little problems about the money, but she fixed it, right? So I thought, no, it would be better. So now Ruud is talking about her, that she should give me more attention because it's my video. So she was already annoyed. And then little later the video was starting. We should start the video, but while she was annoyed, she told the guys to go with him to the room, behind the door. They would stand behind the door and talk. That was for me strange, because I should start, and she took the boys with her. I think, why? Why are you taking my actors? Where they're going? I should start right now, right?
Elise took them.
Yes, she took them, and when they came back, they were very different. In the time she took them, Ruud was sitting. Walked to the kitchen and gave the girlfriends and me poured alcohol, gave it us, we could use a little bit relaxation. But then she came back with the guys, and the girl told us that she had, with her boyfriend for the past few days, had fucked with over 30 people while they were gangbangers. So it meant, they do a lot of group sex, and there was my health going again, that I'm on the wrong place, But I was thinking, this girl is not going to work with my video, because they did not ask me this to do. She is not completely not tested. I can test myself, even if it's not right for you. But I know now I'm healthy. But I do not know she is healthy, he is healthy, or he is healthy. So now I had much more persons to think about my health issue. So this girl started talking, and they say they have sex everywhere. And then I asked for the test again, and one of the two guys has a test just because he works everywhere.
Yeah, so he
That's
is
why he had a
professional.
test. Yes, so he shows me his test, no problem. But the other guy was so big problem.
So you just
They
had
come-
no test.
No test, no. So they come back, and but they had parties before, also with the same guy in my first video. They had a party before, one day before. So they come, look like this, look like shit, and if they're like to sleep whole day, they really look like shit. They were not professional. They just had a really, really big party, and they came there and they're tired. And that's the moment when Elise says, "Oh yeah, but I have a solution, just like last time." And then she gave the boys just pills, Here, some pills, take them, and that must work because we always work like this. And that was the moment I thought, so no guy works here using his own penis without the tablets.
Honestly, in porn, the truth is the tablets don't even work. They're not strong enough. So most men in
that's right.
porn inject their penis with like a thing similar to Viagra, like called Trimix.
Yeah, she has a Kamaga or something. She has, like the snake, like, I don't know, the black mamba or something, I think it's called.
No, it'll be
It's very strong when you have drugs, especially when you have drugs. Then they give you it because then no matter what you used for kind of drugs, your penis is still working. It's just you cannot not finish yourself, but it's like stone for hours.
Mhm.
So I don't even know if you would have feeling, but it's hours like stone.
when guys inject, it's definitely there's no feeling because often it can be quite painful for girls because the guy can't feel anything, so he's not hurting, so he can hurt the girl by accident.
Yeah.
But tablets, they're quite common. Most actors, if they don't inject, they'll have tablets as like a kind of ritual or insurance. So it's more of a psychological crutch, but it is very common.
Yeah, because at first it was really not working.
Yeah.
It was absolutely not working. Nothing was working. So, and then it was working,
Yeah.
It was a different way. So the guys came, video was starting. She gave them, of course, the pill, so we needed to wait for 10 minutes. The video was starting. Elise takes pictures the whole time. When the video starts, she just goes with herself and click, 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 everywhere. Ruud is filming. The video is starting, and Elise is then sitting with you on the couch. Every time she does it before the video, because she wants to get the attention from every video. She just needs this attention. So she asks you different questions. She does not ask you before. It's starting, and then she will ask you. So she asked me what I like, and then especially if I could say to the guys, can you handle me? How rough did I like it to be? If they could slap me. And she asked me if I could speak with the guys, so not with her, but could say to the guys, can you handle me? Can you do this to me, or can you do this to me? So she was saying that it was for the people who watch the videos that they get excitement, and that was the meaning for her to do it like this. But when I talked to the guys like this, I was seeing their eyes, and it was just one of them just looked angry at me. I really had a bad feeling about him because he could not look nice at me. Not once, but before he was there talking with her, he did. He was actually just normal. And then he was changed. So every time I say something, they look at me like it was worse than I said. I immediately wanted to back what I said because I was asking for something wrong.
So you felt so threatened?
Because how they looked at me, they were just, there was something off, just really, really bad. My feeling was really bad.
Yeah, instincts are usually right in these situations.
And then, she was starting to call me again a slut in front of just before the video was starting, they wanted me to say something in German. There were more things. And then the video actually starts. And in the beginning, everything is just fine, nice, easy, slow. But then Elise is getting, let's say she is doing her job. So she comes in the video. You cannot see that, but she is there, the whole time, because she also, makes photos. The whole time when the guys are busy with me, she tells them what to do. So the whole time when a guy is touching me here, she said, no, you can, slap it on the ass, or you can do like this, or you can do like this. And then I tell her that I do not like that because, you asked me what I wanted. I already answered you.
Yeah.
And you want, go about this all again. So, but you have the camera already on your face, so you do not know what they keep, what I do not keep.
Mm-hmm.
So when it was starting, she, the whole time she was just, how you say it? How you say it? She was just putting me under. She was just disrespectful, and
But it's more that she is telling the guys to do things that you'd objected to.
She made me feel like an animal. She was really just putting words that I was thinking, I'm not a cat, I'm not a dog, I'm a human being. Why you should talk with me like that? I do not go on the street and call you a slut. Why you should call me a slut? And this was something for her like, oh, I like it. I'm such a good woman for saying this to you because I feel better. You saw it. You really saw it. It was for her just something, but she really liked to do.
She just liked to humiliate you.
Yes, she really did. And because I'm already longer in the sex industry, I did not know that it would stick with me what she did. But then later in the video, she gets annoyed, and Ruud is also saying to her that she is going too far and she should stop with what she's doing. And that's the moment where I hear it and think, there's something not right. He's knowing what she is capable of.
And just to be clear, so she's obviously kind of name calling you a slut. And
the whole
thing we just glossed over a little bit is that she's also encouraging the guys to kind of abuse you. Did I understand that right?
Yes. To have not my pretty face on the screen, but, rip her mouth open and do some other stuff.
They call that like the fish hook thing, when they put the fingers in the mouth and pull.
Yeah, and she immediately took photos, and you cannot see it on the internet, I tried to find it, to look for it, but I can just not see it.
So was it like just basically violent acts that you didn't want to happen, that you'd said no to?
Yes.
And she was telling the guys to do it, and the guys were doing it.
They would do everything she said. Maybe they get paid for it when they do it, because it was strange for me that one guy I could see that was the kind, nice guy. And then you had the aggressive guy. But both, they were strange when they came back. So I did not understand. I think, did she pay you money, to be some different person just like this? But the video was going more bad and more bad. And
how did you feel in the video? Was it painful? How did you feel mentally?
It was, for me, it was just, I felt just really abused. I felt really, it was, when you ask a few times, to stop, and the camera is in front of you, you cannot scream because nobody's going to help you. So you try to act nicely and stop the scenes, I told her already I didn't like it. I told her already to stop. Ruud also told her once to stop, but she did not want to. So
when you said stop, they didn't stop.
Right. So when the boys were going on, she told one of the guys that he should really slap me on the butt. So, I'm a model, so I would especially never ask for something like this, because I cannot do photo shoots when my butt is blue,
Yeah.
And I also did not ask for kinky stuff or something like this. And this was no kinky stuff. I mean, he's starting slapping me on the butt, and immediately I think, no, this is not right, because it was way too hard. So I asked him to stop, and this is the moment where he just does it 5-6 times, and he takes me here like this, he slaps me in the face. It goes already so fast, and then you know, the face like this. And Elise is coming all the time when this is happening, and really with her phone going in front of you, and oh, you like that slut? Oh yeah, you like that, you know?
Yeah, and
She's going like this the whole time in between the videos. He was just kicking on it.
yeah, and I just need to just say for people that are watching that are not in porn, that maybe when have seen some violent porn, that usually the girl has opted into that. She said on a list, I like this, I want to do it, and she'll be usually paid extra for it. But in this case, there's none of that.
She let me ask for it in the video. That's maybe why
Yeah, but
guys would think, you know, she asked for it.
But what you were saying
she
is
asked
that
me
that
for
was
it.
something she told you to say
Yes.
as like part of acting.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that was part of a consent conversation.
No, and it was just already before that she told me what I should say and what not. And when that later happened, you know, and because she was not stopping it, she was really enjoying it. She was laughing, you know, and she was laughing while while I was starting to bleed from the behind. So
You were bleeding.
yes, I was blue and I was bleeding, and that's why I felt.
So we're talking
guilty.
about something that's like, it's not just like, you know, an act that looks violent. It's like, you know, actual real pain.
Yeah, it was really. Yes. I got really slapped a few times on my butt that I had for a few weeks. I had just hands just standing on there, and as I said, I was bleeding. Yes. So I stand in the shower and I felt really, really, really filthy, and I had not the feeling I could wash this away and feel better. No, no, it was really, really bad for me to have this experience because the way she enjoyed it, I think.
The important things are that you didn't consent to it.
Right.
They didn't stop when you said stop.
No.
And you know that is a violent assault or violent sexual assault. It's like, that's the description of that.
Yeah, and even when you should have a girl who had also never been there, you know, it could be my second time, but I'm working in the industry for many more years, and you know, I felt not good after this. I felt especially really sad. You know, I was thinking, yeah, maybe I am a slut. Maybe I this is what I deserve when I take a job like this. You know, that's what's going to happen. So
I was going to ask how you felt afterwards, but that's a good.
yeah, really bad. Yeah.
How long did that stay with you for? Is it something you moved on from, or something that you still struggle with?
I think about it. I think a lot because it made me always angry. Angry because I came to her just to meet Kim Holland, and probably Kim Holland never knew I was there, you know.
Yeah.
And I get fake promises, and that's why I thought.
Or manipulated, right?
Really. They manipulate you, they make you believe things, and that's why you stay, because you think you have a chance in the industry. You're gonna earn good money, you know, and everything would be fine. But the second time it turned around, and that's why when I found out that Elise did not want to have pretty girls around, and she only wants to have girls who are usable for her and do what she says. So that's a big different story, I think.
I think the worst thing is when your abuse is on camera. You have to go through the abuse again every time someone sends you it, every time you see the video.
Yeah, you see it everywhere, but they cut it, you know? Really, just on the end of the video, you can see that I have spots. You would see a little bit blood. You would see that it is already blue, but that's where it was just starting. So you will not see how it ends because they cut it out. So
and that's
video,
interesting
when
as
you
well,
see it,
because the fact that they're editing out the violence and the abuse, and like that violence and abuse sadly isn't something that, you know, like Visa and MasterCard would object to. So that kind of means that they're doing that more for their own pleasure than for commercial reasons.
Right.
Or mostly their own pleasure, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. It's for their own pleasure.
Which is, yeah, I've heard of people doing it more for like to make more money, because like the more violent something is, the more money you make. Like that's the reality.
Yeah, and for she also, why she was so fighting with Ruud about this, because, you know, he told her to stop and she did not want to do it and did not want to listen and became angry. And that was not, she became immediately unprofessional. And that's why I knew, she is not a good woman. This was from the start. That's why I was feeling this already. This was just a plan to earn a little bit more money, have those videos. And she made me sign a contract where there was standing on it, it's for international. You want to become famous international, she asked you. Then you say, yeah, of course, international. Yeah, why not? But the only videos I saw were here on the Dutch websites. So I think, where's your international stuff?
Yeah.
But I still never found it. So I still do not know why they make you sign a contract like that and what they are doing with
It's
videos.
part of the manipulation, isn't it?
Right.
Like
Yes.
I've seen that a lot in porn.
Yeah.
And did you work for other porn companies as well? Was that a different experience, a more positive one?
Yes. After this, I tried for 2 other companies. The one company, it was just for me not the way I wanted to. I just do not love the dry sex without the feelings. I also love to tease, make maybe a little bit playing and more acting. I like that. So that was also not for me. And then I go to another company, and that's where I had the best experience in the porn. I really, really enjoyed it. I liked it. That's why I still in the porn industry, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what I really enjoyed. That's the right place to be. They were taking care about your health. The tests were fine. You could not come if you did not bring your test, and that was the way I liked it.
Yeah, and also
Very respectful.
it's shown you that that's not normal. That's not the way it's usually done.
Right. So I found the right place, and then it's for a woman who has never worked in the industry, and she thinks because of the name is so big, so she wants to go there because she thinks maybe she is there safe. It's really just not. It's just a big lie, because she is in lots of danger from her health, from everything actually, because she does not know what's going to happen. So it's for many girls.
Did you talk to other girls about your experience?
Actually, no, because when I'm in my private life, no one actually knows what my job is.
No, I mean
it's-
other girls in the porn industry.
no, not about no, not. Maybe I told them, but not the names, because the names are too big. So I was very careful, because I did not want to have problems.
I was
but-
just wondering if other girls that had similar experiences to you.
Yes, I have a group. Yes, that's from now on. I believe now for 2 weeks. There are girls who are really talking about it, what happened to them. Also, I'm not alone, and I'm not the only girl who has experienced this. Those are girls who also have the proof from what has happened, and yeah, it's important that other girls just do not need to experience this, and maybe we could warn them that they watch out.
Why do you think they get away with it?
Because they're under a big name.
You think that protects them?
Absolutely.
Like in the same way that like Bill Cosby or Harvey
Right.
Weinstein.
Especially like that. Yes.
You think people are afraid of speaking out?
Lots of girls, yes, because when you are, if you need the money or you do not need the money, it's also going about the video. This girl's not proud about talking about this video because she feels abused. So
Yeah, no one
she
wants
is
to
just
be a victim publicly, do they?
yeah. And you have many people who she can just not tell, I'm abused in this video, because he will just see it in another way, and you did not see the whole video, right? So
And they were
everything
clever,
is just a lie.
like having you, say that you want those things at the beginning, even though you don't, and you've said you don't. That's clever. It's like the illusion of consent.
Right. It was the special commercial. You just believe it. You just go there and you think it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be great. And all the questions that you have, they first ask you about it. So you think you have a choice and you can decide what's going to happen, but actually you don't.
How would you fix the problem of new girls getting into the industry? and not knowing how to protect themselves.
And not knowing.
New girls getting into the, because it tends to be new girls that do get exploited or abused. Like now your experience, you would know how to avoid that.
Right.
So how would you fix the problem of new girls being unprepared, I guess?
I think I would search for girls what I should see, maybe. And, you see they have already worked there. So, but you have lots of girls who would not tell the same story as me, because you have also girls who go farther and do stuff what I never should do. So, my feeling was already bad. I did not get paid right. I had already lots of stuff going on when they were starting to talk about alcohol or the payment. Everything was just off. Yes, the red flags. When you have one red flag, just freaking go, because it's not right. They know what they're doing, and it's not you feeling stupid because you don't know the job. It's just your feeling who says, get out of here because something is just off. Something's not right. And when you go there, especially because you really need the money, then you should really watch out for yourself and keep the information for yourself that you need money, because they're going to abuse or use you either way.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think it is good advice for people. Just, you have to be financially independent before you do porn, especially if it's someone you don't know, or or your first time.
Right.
You need your own income.
Yes, and when you go there for the first time, it's easier to walk away, the second time, because I came the second time, and actually, when you had already the first time it was not going smooth, there were already stuff wrong. Why you should think next time would be better? Because you think you can make the video right.
You have to trust your instincts and try to, but it's so hard to say no to people.
Yeah, and many girls think because they came here at first, it's the right way, because they do not know another way. So at first they met Elise and they think, that's right. Everyone works like this.
Yeah.
It's just not the truth. It's really not the truth.
And so what do you think should happen to them?
I think that all the girls, all the people that have been abused should really, really talk about it, because they are too big for the Netherlands to not know what really happens there. So I believe there are hundreds of people who know what's going on there. We just need to talk so we can help younger girls and younger people who go into work in this industry.
And who do you think's responsible for the problems? Because obviously it's Kim Holland's site, like Rude and her own it.
I would say I really do not know if Kim Holland knows what's happened under her name. Because, I never saw her.
It doesn't matter if she knows. If she's an owner of the company, she's got some responsibility, right? Yeah.
Yes, everything happens under her name. So I think that for a company like this, who cannot secure your health, who abuses the girls who come in there, I think you should get really big punishment for that, and you should just not. It shouldn't be allowed to get on. They should, they need to stop. They cannot not make videos anymore when they cannot treat people like people, and they cannot get by the rules.
Yeah.
Because they're very
manipulative.
Yes.
Yeah. It's horrible.
And it's like the perfect commercial, on the television.
Last time we watched a clip of Kim Holland promoting the company, and then she's not there, right?
It's just not. They just do not tell the truth.
Yeah.
It's it's so beautiful. It looks so beautiful, but ask 10 girls who also work there, and really, I do not believe that those 10 girls will say, it is here beautiful and flowers are shining here. I think they have lots of more information, and most of the girls, because they are so big, Elise was immediately aggressive towards me. So when I was not like me, I would maybe be more scared and would not tell anybody about it, because she already tried to make me scared. So what does she do with other girls who are there and who are not so strong and have no people to protect them?
It sounds like for her that you and other sex workers, I guess, are they're subhuman, just there to be used.
Right. Yes.
And she seems to enjoy that. Like you said, she was laughing.
She is laughing. She's really enjoying it. Yeah. Yeah. And her own words, that is also for all the girls who worked for her. She says that's the girls who work for her or make porn. She has absolutely no respect for them because she is never gonna make her hands dirty like those sluts are doing. Her words, she said it. She said it. She thinks it's disgusting for guys and girls who work in the industry and need to fuck for themselves for the video. She said, I will never do it. I just tease, I show them my body, that it looks like I'm doing it with all of them, but you're working for me, so you're doing it. I will never get my hands dirty because you're just a slut to me.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's, I think, is also for the girls who also did not have a very bad experience. I think now you will think twice about what she says because they worked also for her, but you're also a slut. So it doesn't matter for her. You have no more worth.
Yeah.
And I think that when you're working in this industry and you can say something like this, then I think you're really bad. You must have a confrontation and consequence for what you're doing.
And just one last question. Like, how does porn compare to other types of sex work? Do you think like one is safer than the other, or one's like, what's your opinion?
Actually, I think not one is safer than the other.
You think it's just the same?
Yes, but in the porn industry, they still have more regulations about testing.
Really?
Yeah, because in the clubs you really do not have them at all.
Wow.
So you can go for yourself when you are thinking, maybe I have health issues. I can go once in 3 or 4 months, I can go and test myself. But no one is gonna send me there. No one is gonna force me to do it. So in some porn industries, you really should get tested, as I said before. You are not allowed to work, right? You're not allowed to work there when you do not bring your test. And I think these groups are really doing good for the health and for the industry, and respect the women, and those girls enjoy their time there. They have fun. They go at home and they still feel like themselves, are like good person, even when they had sex on camera. So I think that's the right way it should be.
Yeah, I don't know much about like in-person sex work yet. But I think we're going to do a second interview, and you're going to teach me about Amsterdam, I guess.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that. But I don't know, is there anything else you want to say about like this topic, about Ruud and Elise and Kim Holland, or have we covered everything?
Yeah, I hope that that guys and girls come forward, and I hope that they that maybe when they see this video, that they also think about that they're doing some stuff wrong, and that you just cannot do it because you're working with people.
Yeah.
And when you're working with people, you need to have respect for them and, get by the rules. Or you just need to quit your job and do something else if you cannot do it in the right way.
I
you
just
cannot
hope,
secure the health of other people.
Yeah, I just hope that the men watching it that maybe watch Kim Holland's porn, maybe stop, because, I'm sure most people don't want to think that they're getting off to people being abused.
Right.
So I think it's just important to, when there are bad stories about people, just stop watching.
Yes.
Like that's, at the very least, that's like the minimum punishment they should get.
Yeah, because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And there's a lot going on. So when you know it, I shouldn't enjoy the videos.
Yeah.
I shouldn't watch them anymore. Yes. I think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for telling me everything. It shocked, like how I was flabbergasted, especially at the beginning. I know nothing about the Netherlands, I guess. I just didn't expect any of that. And I think like what you're doing by sharing the story and trying to warn other girls is like so commendable.
Yes.
So like, thank you for that. And I'm sure lots of other girls will be thanking you as well, even if they don't say it to you. Like, I know they'll definitely be thinking it.
Yeah, I hope so. I do my best, and I hope we can save some and make it better.
Yeah, that's the best way. So
Yes.
Thank you again.
You also, thank you.